Heroes of Might and Magic 3 speedrunning is quite a niche corner in the speedrunning world. Probably for a good reason. Usually, real-time speedruns in this game are done for the different campaigns. At least the speedruns I'm aware of. But I like to do things differently. I like to do turn-based speedruns. AKA, in how few in-game days can I finish scenarios? And now, in how few in-game days can I finish campaigns in? I like to do it this way because there's less real-time pressure, as I can spend as long as I like each day, and I feel like it suits HOMM3's turn-based style much better. Anyway, the first campaign in this amazing game is called Long Live the Queen, and is, let's be honest here, pretty easy. It's a 3-part campaign where your heroes transfer over from scenario to scenario, which means that you can power up your best heroes quite a lot, and just roll over the enemy with your level and secondary skill advantages. My goal here is to finish all 3 scenarios in one go in as few days as possible. It should be possible to do at least one of the individual scenarios quicker than I do here, but it's the overall number of days spent that's important to me. So how am I gonna achieve this? Well, scenario number 3, Griffin Cliff, has the biggest potential for day saving of the 3 scenarios. In order to win, I need to flag all the Griffin creature dwellings, which are spaced out quite far apart and guarded by a variety of different creatures, which can all be bypassed if I have one of the most overpowered spells in the game, Dimension Door. In order to cast this spell, I need Expert Wisdom. In order to cast this spell more than once per day, I need Air Magic, preferably at Expert level. So the big overarching strategy here is to get the hero to have both of these secondary skills before the final scenario begins, and also somehow find Dimension Door in as few days as possible. Should be fun. Scenario number 1 is up first, obviously. Homecoming. This is a medium-sized map where we face off against Tan, who has a bunch of towns and way more territory to spelunk around in. But that's not a big deal, as the win condition here is to simply conquer one of their towns, Terranius, located underground. My heroes are limited to level 6, so it's theoretically possible to get both Expert Wisdom and Expert Air on one hero. But I'm not in that much of a rush to get those. Yet. The fastest way to victory is to simply board one of the boats, go through the whirlpool nearby, disembark near the southern Tan Castle town, and run straight for Terranius. While one hero does this, I will hire a second hero, who will level up in the starting zone, looking for the relevant skills I need later. Fairly straightforward? It sure is. Let's just do this. Remember to like, comment and subscribe, and even become a channel member. Tee. The scenario bonus in this scenario doesn't matter all that much, so I just pick more pikemen. To find my preferred second hero, I enter the fight against the bottom pikeman and reset twice. Afterwards, I accept all the joiners, before upgrading the archer's tower, which lets me upgrade my archers to marksmen. A huge upgrade. I purposefully leave some army in town, and also bring along some halberdiers and split them up into 1 stacks, and board a nearby boat. The hero I was looking for was Solmir, who starts off with wisdom and has a high chance of getting air magic, and his chain lightning specialty is also really good. Using the enormous amount of starting gold, I recruit all available army and set Solmir out to explore the starting zone. His only goal is reaching level 6 in this scenario. I also hire Sorug, but just let him simmer in town for the rest of the scenario. His +1 gem specialty will come in handy later. Christian sails into the whirlpool, losing some of his army, which is just 1 halberdier. I only wanted to avoid losing marksmen, so I can safely dismiss the rest of the halberdiers afterwards, as their 5 speed would net me fewer movement points compared to the 6 speed of the marksman. Meanwhile, Solmir continues his adventure, leveling up his wisdom to advanced, before I let Otto do his thing against some hellhounds, picking up another chest, netting Solmir his expert wisdom. First part of my plan completed. Big day for Christian here. He disembarks, and his turn is over. Sailing sucks. If you're wondering why I skipped the witch shot, it's because it teaches armor on this seed. Completely useless for me here. Since army preservation is completely unnecessary for Solmir, I just let auto-combat do all of his fights to save on my own real-life time. The witch shot close to Christian, however, has a decently useful skill, though it isn't completely necessary. I make sure to pick up +1 knowledge, as I need the spell points later, but all other primary skill level ups are optional. Christian gets tactics from the witch hut and sets his sights on Terranius. Solmer levels up to level 5, but still hasn't found air magic, which is a little bit concerning. I would really like to get this before the next scenario begins. Not much happening on day 6, but on day 7, Christian finds the tan hero Zyron. If I didn't have any decent army on Christian, the run might have ended here, so the marksmen come in handy in this spot. Unfortunately, he runs away, but I have more movement points due to the faster units, so I catch Zyron the next turn anyway. Otto just smashes in, so I'm very satisfied. Solmir, meanwhile, levels up to 6 and cannot gain more XP this scenario, and he finds logistics, which is very nice and will potentially save some days, but it's not air magic, so I'm a little bit worried, I have to say. Now, the only thing left is to take Terranius, so Christian rides gloriously, day by day, closer and closer to his goal. The tension is palpable. No tan hero dares come close to the mighty Ballista Bro. And on week 2, day 5, he has made his way to the tan town, taking them on. And Otto just brutalizes the fight. Alright, scenario 1 done, GG. So, we're 12 days in and only 1 scenario deep. This better speed up. Quickly. Scenario number 2, Guardian Angels, is up next. This is a small map, but extremely rich. Resources are everywhere, as well as a few angels and archangels located close to the neutral town, which is intended for me. These angels, with the exception of the top archangel, always join, making clearing the map quite straightforward. Just use the angels to smash all the lower tiered creature guards. Underground, Tan has 4 towns, 2 dungeon and 2 inferno. The great thing about these towns is that they all can have mage guild level 5, which means a chance to get dimension door. This, combined with the resource rich map, means I can get 4 different chances of getting what I'm after. Tan also starts off with 4 heroes, but they're all weak compared to the angels I get, so the strategy is simply to go directly on the offensive, getting to the underground as fast as I can, while also picking up resources on the way. When I have Tan pinned down, I'll use a strategy from my Deathless run to make sure I can build up the mage skills in peace. You'll see how. Anyway, no need to stall any longer, let's get into it. Of the scenario bonus options, the only real choice is the Angel, as it enables my early aggression strategy. I want a specific seed for this scenario as well, so I enter the fight against the nearby troglodytes and reset twice. Since Solmer is my highest leveled hero, he starts off with the Angel. I dismiss the other starting army and immediately go east towards one of the subterranean gates, picking up some XP along the way, as well as flagging any mines I come across. First level up is again something other than air magic. This is making me nervous. This scenario is where Sorug's specialty comes in handy. Mage guilds are extremely resource expensive, so any +1 resource specialty is pretty strong. He accepts a couple of angel joiners on the way to the neutral town, where I hire a 4th hero, Oris, who takes both of the angels and brings them to Christian. This enables Christian to head towards the western side of the map, setting his sights on the subterranean gate there. He, as Solmer, flags any mines he can along the way. Afterwards, Sorug finds another angel, which will help him explore around the starting zone alongside Oris. On day 2, Christian makes his way underground and heads south, finding nothing out of the ordinary, while Solmer auto-combats a couple of fights, flags a couple of mines, and makes his way underground and sets his sights on the northern part of the map. Everything as planned so far. Tan then does something really helpful. Arlak attacks my 2 angel Christian and just flees. No clue why I thought he could take on Christian, but thanks I guess. The onslaught continues on day 3 as Solmir just walks over to find Darkstorm in one of the dungeon towns. Otto loses, but this is where Solmir's specialty comes in handy and why he's such a good hero. 6 power chain lightning just deletes Darkstorm's army. Only 19 harpies left after a single cast. Not bad. My angel has just enough HP to survive 2 more magic arrows, so I don't bother casting any more spells, and just let the angelic sword take care of the heretical harpies. Easy peasy. Another level up after the fight, and I get expert logistics. While this is extremely handy, I really do need that air magic. Soon. Please, please, please. I build a mana vortex in town to make sure Solmer can cast a few more chain lightnings, just in case I need them. Which I, of course, immediately do against some manticores nearby. One chain doesn't do nearly enough, so after all the manticores move, I hide my angel in the corner. Another chain, however, does do quite a bit, so after the second cast, I check how much HP my angel has, and decide it has more than enough to survive a quick combat finish. Which it does. Very nice. Christian then swings by the other dungeon town, finding it unguarded, and continues eastwards, getting a whiff of Jediite before ending his turn. On his way west, Solmer levels up again, but still no air magic. I guess mysticism is pretty good too, right? Right? A couple of steps shy of reaching the northwestern town, but it's no big deal. I'm still on schedule here. Since there's a tan hero suspiciously close to the western subterranean gate, I send Sorug towards it with his now 1 angel and 1 archangel army. Don't want to use any of my main heroes' time to take care of the straggler hero here. Christian auto-combats Jediite easily and finds the final tan town afterwards. Unguarded as well. In the northeastern dungeon town, I start building up the mage guild, 1 level each day. Solmer finds Jediite resurrected in the nearby town, easily taking him out. Finding Arlak afterwards, easily taking him out as well. I decide once and for all that Sorug can take care of the tan hero, and start XP collecting for real now. And after finishing off the Harpy Hags, I finally find basic air magic. What a relief. Now for expert level. In order to have full control over tan, I let Christian hang out in the general vicinity of the final tan town, as this lets me finish the scenario whenever I want. This is the strategy from the Deathless run I was talking about, but I can't end yet. I still need Dimension Door. Mage Guild level 3 means only 2 levels left until Judgment Day. Sorug takes care of Synka, who's now in the overworld, before Solmer reaches level 11 off of a chest, finding Advanced Air. It's looking good now. I build Mage Guild level 4 and continue resource collecting, which I do off screen as I don't think it's very interesting gameplay. And on day 7, I have more than enough resources to build a Mage Guild to level 5. After doing a bit of trading in the marketplace, Solmer swings by the town to learn all the Mage Guild spells, and what do you know? I have Dimension Door. This plus air magic is what I was resetting for at the beginning of the scenario. I even get the final level up, which of course nets me Advanced Mysticism. Okay, so the seed isn't perfect, but it's still really, really good. Christian can then attack the final tan town, taking down Synka again, securing me the scenario victory, significantly faster than the first scenario, as this was only in 7 days. This can obviously be done faster, but the setup for the final scenario is very important for my overall strategy, which we'll take a look at now. Griffin Cliff is a medium-sized map where we start off with 3 castle towns, 1 with a pre-built fort and 2 without. The win condition for this scenario is to flag all the 7 Griffin dwellings at the north side of the map. But as you can see, if I were to walk from one dwelling to the next, this would be really slow. Which is why Dimension Door is so good, as it lets me teleport over the cliffs, over the garrisons and over the red border guard, significantly speeding the scenario up. In the overworld, Tan starts off with 4 towns, but I will completely ignore them in this scenario, as well as Orange, who are located underground. Zooming in a bit, there are 2 handily placed magic wells on the way to the easternmost Griffin dwelling, as well as another one fairly close by the second easternmost dwelling. These are the final pieces to the Dimension Door puzzle. As long as I have mana to cast DD, I can blitz through this map. But Solmer only has 7 knowledge from the previous scenarios, which is way too little, especially if I plan on DDing up to 4 times per day. That's where this +4 knowledge artifact guarded by Minotaurs come in, as well as the scenario bonus, which will make absolutely sure I can take full advantage of Dimension Door. How fast can this go? Let's take a look. So the only scenario bonus we care about is the Lion's Shield of Courage, giving +4 to all primary skills, aka +4 knowledge. That's the obvious choice. The only hero doing anything this scenario is Solmir, and I instantly make use of Dimension Door right out of the gate, misplacing the teleport slightly, but I still make it to the +1 level 3, securing me Expert Air. Now I can DD 4 times per turn. This is really good. Second DD takes me to the first Magic Well, restoring 90 spell points. Third DD takes me to the Minotaur fight, which auto loses quite badly. Waiting on turn 1, I can then Chain Lightning with my now Expert Air to fry these poor cows into electric steak. Due to Chain Lightning now hitting 5 targets and there are only 4 stacks of Minos left, I use the Gremlins as a Lightning Rod on turn 2 to shield my fragile, fast gargoyles from the electricity. Only 1 Mino is left after 2 turns, and it dies to a Gremlin Retaliation on turn 3. A decent fight. I can't quite make it to the crown of the Supreme Magi, but this was still a good day 1. I also make sure to dismiss the Gremlins to get more movement points the next days as well. +4 artifact on day 2, and I start DDing again, swinging by the Fountain of Youth for some extra movement. Magic Well number 2 restores 137 spell points, and I DD up behind some Griffins, picking up the Boots of Speed, giving even more movement points each day. Since I have an excess of spell points, I take on the Griffins, as they block the path to the first dwelling and I still have some movement left over. These are all just Solmir magic fodder. 1 chain evaporates most of the Griffins, and they line up for a meteor shower on turn 2. How very polite of them. Another easy peasy fight. A second Griffin guard blocks me from the dwelling, upgraded ones this time. I'm sure you can guess what happens to them as well. 1 Zappy Zap and 1 meteor shower make quick work of these oversized chickens. Solmir really showing why he's the GOAT hero here. Day 3 and I flag dwelling number 1. I have the mana for 2 DDs left, so I use those to find Magic Well number 3 to do the final spell point restoration of this campaign, slightly misplacing this DD as well. I really hope this doesn't come back to bite me. Another DD takes me close to the second dwelling, which is also guarded by Griffins, but auto wins this time, so I just accept the results. I even get to flag a third dwelling before the day is over. It's going really fast now. Still lots of mana left. Day 4, and I flag the 2 remaining dwellings in the middle cliff zone. Slightly misplacing another DD. It's really hard to remember all the DD spots, bros. Please don't judge me. I even do 2 unnecessary steps after the 5th dwelling, which is just, yeah, that's just sloppy. 2 more DDs take me to the penultimate dwelling, but I have to fight some Royal Griffins before I can go for the final dwelling. I've made sure to buy all the Griffins from the dwellings, so auto just smashes the poor neutral guards. And just for fun, I swing by the Redwood Observatory to make sure I don't screw up the final DD. And with just enough movement to flag the final dwelling, I finish the scenario. And the campaign. Only 4 days spent on Griffin Cliff means I've beaten this campaign in a mere 23 days. I would say this is pretty good. Is there room for improvement? Yes, at least in theory. I'll leave a comment with my ideas underneath this video, if I remember. I would be interested to see if any of you can improve on my time though. I always want to learn new things so I can optimize my gameplay even more. So leave any ideas in a comment below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And if you did, make sure to like and subscribe. You can even become a channel member, but no pressure. I hope to see you next time, that you have a might and magically good day. Bye bye. And lastly, a special shout out for my channel members, Onufry, Sebastian Kopach, Manajarmer Running Skull, Chaos, Dante, Dovid, Original Lamester, Alexanders, Milkman, Matt Age, Sealoil, SQBani, Anubnimus, Radnosorth, Lika, and Rick Vishaupt. Thank you very much, guys.